Hi everyone, I'm Pam Mahshie. I'm the Overlock Business Manager for Bernina of America. I've been working with sergers for over 40 years and I just love sergers. Today I'm with Ken Sewing Center and today we're going to talk a little bit about our Bernette sergers and share with you a little bit information about the different series of machines and what each of them can lend to you and help you figure out which one exactly you might want. So let's take a look at these three machines we have here on the table first. And you're going to find that with all of the Bernette machines, all the Bernette sergers, there will be three machines in each one of the series. And the reason that there are and the numbering system that we have makes it very easy for you to understand what each of these machines are going to do. So let's take a look first of all at the B4 series of machines. And here you can see we have three different machines. So the first one that we have here, which is the B42. The B42 machine is a cover or chain stitch machine only. And you might wonder, why would I want to have a machine that only does this function? Well, if you already have an overlock machine, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, you might find that you want to just add a machine that does a cover stitch. And what is that cover stitch? Well, typically when you look at the hems on t-shirts, or if you're going to be working on garments, making garments, you may want to have a separate machine which is going to already be set up for that stitch, and you can very easily move over to that machine. Later on, after or in another part of a video, we're going to show you some accessories that can also lend itself to using a cover stitch only machine for sewing on bindings, doing hemmings, and that's going to help you in that production of your machine. Now, these are going to be machines that are manual threading. And when you have a machine that is manually threaded, you're going to find that it comes with threads in it. Leave those threads in your machine, and we're going to take a look at what you do with those in just a little bit. So then let's scoot over to the other machine, which is the B44. The B44 machine is an overlock machine. So what that means, and a lot of times people will refer to all of these machines as either sergers or overlockers. It doesn't matter what you refer to them, but typically when you're talking about a stitch that is an overlock stitch, what it's going to do is it will actually sew the line of stitching, it will cut the edge of your fabric, and you can adjust the width of your stitch, but it will also over edge that stitch all at the same time. For knit fabrics, it gives you a very flexible stitch, and on woven fabrics, it's going to secure those stitches in place and finish the edge. So no matter if you're a garment sewist or you're a quilter, this is going to be the machine for you. So now let's take a look inside of this machine. So when you're working with an overlock machine, you have different stitches that are available. So the first one we're going to be looking at is the basic stitch. And this is a 4-thread overlock stitch. So it's going to give you a straight line of stitching at the left needle, a straight line of stitching at the right needle, and then the two threads are going to loop over the edge of your fabric and completely secure the edge of that fabric. There is also a cutting blade that's going to trim away any of the fuzz or extra fabric, especially if you're working with a seam that has a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now the 4-thread overlock stitch, you can also remove one or the other of those needles, and you can achieve a 3-thread overlock stitch. Now that 3-thread you can use for seaming as well. Again, I prefer to use a 4-thread because I have that extra line of stitching. But if you are working with lightweight fabrics, or you're going to be working with fabrics where you don't need as wide of a seam, there you may want to use a 3-thread stitch. Another stitch that you have on the machine, this overlock machine, is a flat lock stitch. It's also known as a 2-thread flat lock stitch, where you can use it for simply finishing the edge of your fabric, or you can use it, as we've done on this piece of batting, you can join together your pieces of batting and fabric scraps that you might have to create new types of fabrics for quilting, for crazy patch, or just upcycle and repurpose those pieces of batting that you don't want to throw away. So you'll also notice that on here, you're going to have color-coded threading paths on each one of these machines, which again makes it very easy for you to follow the thread if and when you do want to thread your machines manually. The last machine that we have up here on the table is going to be the B48. Now the B48 is considered a combo machine. So on the combo machine, you're going to have stitches that not only give you an overlock stitch, but you also have a chain stitch that's going to be running along with your overlock stitch. This is the kind of stitch that you have on ready-made garments. So you're going to be able to position your needles in different places to also achieve different stitch widths. So inside of this machine, you will have the opportunity to place your needles in 5 different positions. And inside the machine, you also have 3 loopers that are located inside the machine to create the different stitches. And again, you can also use that same chain stitch or cover stitch individually without having to use the overlock stitch. So how would you like to have a machine that never runs out of bobbin thread? This is the perfect machine for you then. You can simply use this machine for stitching your seams together, whether you're going to be doing quilting or you're going to be doing garment sewing. You can use this chain stitch to join your fabric pieces together. And if you ever make mistakes, join me in another video and I'll show you how to correct those mistakes with your serger. So as you can see, by using these 3 different machines, you have opportunities to select different types of machines for the kind of sewing that you're going to be doing. And it gives you a different opportunity as you would grow in your sewing experience. Many times people will shy away from sergers because they think they're hard, they think they're difficult to work with. But the more you work with them, the better your sewing capabilities are going to become, and you're going to become a much better sewist.